Well folks, here we are with the Extreme Propagater. I thought I'd give you an update on what it's doing or how it's getting on. And I'll probably just talk about the pros and cons of it so far. I do have to say, like any system, any new growing system or propagating system, you do have to learn the ins and outs. And there are a few cons with this so far. So just to backtrack a bit, I've seen some videos and pictures on social media, Instagram and Facebook of this, with people rooting fake cuttings on other cuttings, and it looked amazing. All the cuttings looked super healthy. That hasn't been the case for me. Now granted, it's been kind of my own fault. But anyway, cons first. I have this set up here in a timer. I do have a heat mat under it just to keep the solution or the water relatively warm because it has been cold out. This room does get cold, and I have a towel here because a lot of water comes off this. And it's a little bit noisy, not hugely noisy, but you know, there's that, you can hear it as it is there. And there is a home office, so if I'm downstairs in the front room watching TV, or if I'm in the bedroom, which is right next door, I can hear this. So if I'm going to bed, I do turn it off. It's not hugely distracting in any way, but you know, if hums and whatever else annoy you or keep you awake at night, you might want to move to a room where it's less noisy. That's the first thing. The second thing, and this is probably the biggest issue, is that and partially my fault, let's take this off here, is that most of the cuttings I have in this have mold, unfortunately. So the cuttings I have are mulberry cuttings. I've got some pomegranate there, the rest are figs, and it's kind of hard to see here. I'll try and zoom in a bit, but this cutting here, the camera isn't focusing, is covered in mold. Now I pulled off a bit here, which is just all that black fluffy stuff on it, and you can see the mold's kind of getting into the wood. That's covered in mold there. My pomegranate here is covered in mold, and same for most of the other cuttings that are in here. Now I say that that's my fault because I should have wrapped all of these cuttings in parafilm. Usually you wrap them in parafilm to keep the humidity in this case it's to keep it out. So I do keep the lid on it, as you seen there a second ago. I do keep these ports open to allow air exchange, but ideally I should be removing that every day and maybe stick a fan on it just to get more airflow around that. So that's not good. I would suspect, I'm going to try and salvage some of these cuttings here. I suspect that a few of them are too far gone now. And I haven't got any roots. Now granted, it's only been 2 weeks. It's probably hard to see here. There's not much light in there, but there are some roots that are beginning to form. You can see the knobs in this. I really should get more light in there. Although it is hard to see, but trust me, there are roots beginning to form. So lesson learned, ideally I should have wrapped these in parafilm first, and that's the biggest drawback for me. The other drawback then as well is the size of the cuttings. You need thin cuttings for this. You can't stick on like 1/4 inch cuttings or anything bigger than what's there. That's probably as big as you go, or even that one there, because the actual these foam slots, they only have this tiny little cross section here that you can insert cuttings into. And I suspect it wasn't designed with a woody cuttings like this in mind. But anyway, that's how she's looking. Not great so far, but you know, a lesson learned. And as I said, like any new I don't know, system of propagation or growing, you do have to learn the ins and outs. But she's not looking great so far. As I said, I'll do a clean-up job and see if I can salvage some cuttings. If I can't, I'll probably just try some new cuttings in here. I've plenty of cuttings to choose from at the moment, so I'm not short on cuttings. But yeah, a work in progress, and I shall keep this posted. Take it easy.